The incident, the Galactic Council's grand hall buzzed with anticipation. Hundreds of alien species, each more bizarre than the last, filled the tiered seating surrounding the central platform. Today marked a historic occasion, humanity's first official diplomatic mission to the seat of galactic power. Ambassador Sarah Chen strode confidently onto the platform, her crisp blue uniform a stark contrast to the colorful array of alien diplomats. At her heels trotted Max, her loyal golden retriever and Earth's first canine diplomat. The sight of the furry creature elicited a wave of murmurs and curious glances from the assembled aliens. Esteemed members of the Galactic Council, Sarah began, her voice clear and strong. I come before you today representing Earth and all of humanity. We are honored to take our place among the stars and eager to contribute to the greater galactic community. As Sarah continued her speech, outlining humanity's achievements and aspirations, Max sat dutifully at her side, occasionally wagging his tail or cocking his head at particularly interesting alien sounds. The dog's presence, while unusual, seemed to soften the atmosphere, drawing smiles, or alien equivalents, from many of the delegates. However, not all were charmed by the Earth delegation. In the upper tiers, Ambassador Zix of the Krell Imperium watched with growing disdain. The Krell, a warrior race known for their strict hierarchy and disdain for perceived weakness, saw the human's companion animal as a sign of inferiority. As the session broke for recess, Sarah and Max made their way through the crowded halls, greeting various alien diplomats. The Arcturian delegate, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline structure, seemed particularly fascinated by Max, its light patterns shifting rapidly as it observed the dog's behavior. Your companion is most intriguing, Ambassador Chen, the Arcturian communicated telepathically. The bond between your species is palpable. Sarah smiled, reaching down to scratch Max behind the ears. Dogs have been humanity's companions for thousands of years. They're not just pets, but members of our families, working partners, and in Max's case, diplomats in their own right. As they continued their meet and greet, neither Sarah nor Max noticed the group of Krell warriors approaching from behind. Ambassador Zix had decided to teach the humans a lesson about bringing lesser creatures into the hallowed halls of the Galactic Council. In a flash of movement, one of the Krell seized Max, lifting the startled dog off the ground. Sarah whirled around, her face contorting in shock and anger. "What are you doing? Put him down immediately." Ambassador Zix stepped forward, his mandibles clicking in what passed for a Krell smirk. "You humans are so sentimental. Let me show you how real warriors treat lesser beings." What happened next would forever change the course of galactic history. In a brutal display of strength, the Krell warrior snapped Max's neck, the sickening crack echoing through the suddenly silent hall. The dog's lifeless body fell to the floor as Sarah screamed, a sound of pure anguish that seemed to pierce the very souls of all who heard it. The Arcturian delegate's crystalline form pulsed with a deep red hue, broadcasting waves of shock and dismay. Other alien diplomats recoiled in horror, many having never witnessed such a callous act of violence in the supposedly peaceful halls of the council. Sarah fell to her knees, cradling Max's body, her tears flowing freely. When she looked up at the Krell, her eyes burned with an intensity that made even the warrior race take a step back. In that moment, they realized they had made a grave miscalculation. "You have no idea what you've just done," Sarah said, her voice low and dangerous. "Humanity has been patient. We've played by your rules, pretended to be the naive newcomers. But you've just killed a member of my family, and in doing so, you've declared war not just on me, but on all of humanity." Ambassador Zix, still believing in the Krell's superiority, scoffed. "War? Your species is barely out of its cradle. What could you possibly do to the mighty Krell Imperium?" Sarah stood slowly, still holding Max's body. Her next words would be remembered and repeated across the galaxy for years to come. "We've hidden our true strength out of respect for galactic law and the hope for peaceful coexistence. But you shattered that hope. Now, you'll see why. Throughout human history, it's always been a terrible mistake to harm our loved ones. As if on cue, alarms began blaring throughout the council station. The main view screen flickered to life, showing a sight that left even the most seasoned diplomats speechless. Emerging from cloaked positions all around the Galactic Council's space was an armada of ships unlike anything they'd ever seen. Sleek, angular vessels bristling with advanced weaponry, they represented a level of technology that surpassed even the eldest races of the Council. Sarah's communicator chirped, and she answered it, her eyes never leaving the stunned Krell. "This is Ambassador Chen. The Krell have committed an act of war against humanity. Initiate Protocol Omega." The color drained from Ambassador Zix's face as the realization of his mistake dawned on him. In the space around them, humanity's hidden fleet moved into position, their weapons charged and ready. The message was clear. The galaxy as they knew it was about to change forever. As the first part of our story concludes, the stage is set for a dramatic shift in the balance of galactic power. Humanity, provoked by a senseless act of cruelty, stands ready to reveal its true strength. The Galactic Council, caught off guard by this sudden turn of events, faces an unprecedented crisis. And at the center of it all stands Sarah Chen, a grieving human holding the body of her faithful companion, prepared to unleash the full might of Earth upon those who underestimated the depth of human love and the fury of human vengeance. Earth's response. The Galactic Council chamber, once a bastion of order and diplomacy, had descended into chaos. Alien diplomats from 100 worlds argued vociferously, their translator modules struggling to keep up with the cacophony of languages. At the center of the storm stood Ambassador Sarah Chen, her face a mask of grim determination, the lifeless body of Max still cradled in her arms. High above, the massive view screen showed the unfolding drama in space. Earth's hidden fleet, a breathtaking array of sleek, advanced warships, had taken up strategic positions around the Council station and key approach vectors. Their sudden appearance had sent shockwaves through the assembled diplomats, many of whom were frantically contacting their homeworlds for guidance. Ambassador Zix of the Krell Imperium, the architect of this crisis, found himself isolated, his fellow diplomats giving him a wide berth. The warrior race, known for their aggression and disdain for weakness, had never looked so small. Sarah's communicator chirped again. She answered, her voice carrying clearly through the chaotic chamber. "This is Ambassador Chen. Go ahead, Admiral." A holographic image materialized next to her, a stern-faced human woman in a crisp military uniform. "Ambassador, this is Admiral Helena Takashi of the Earth Defense Fleet. We await your orders." The chamber fell silent, all eyes turning to Sarah. In this moment, she held the fate of the galaxy in her hands. Sarah took a deep breath, her gaze sweeping across the assembled aliens before settling on the Krell delegation. "Admiral Takashi, initiate Phase 1 of Protocol Omega. Disable the Krell fleet, but minimize casualties. We're here to send a message, not start a war." "Understood, Ambassador. Commencing operations now." On the view screen, the Earth fleet sprang into action. Beams of energy lanced out, striking Krell warships with surgical precision. Within moments, the once mighty Krell armada hung dead in space, their systems offline. Ambassador Zix, his mandibles quivering in a mix of rage and fear, stepped forward. This is an act of war. The Krell Imperium will not stand for this humiliation." Sarah turned to face him, her eyes blazing. "No, Ambassador. This is a lesson. One your people would do well to learn quickly." She addressed the entire chamber, her voice ringing with authority. For too long, humanity has hidden its true capabilities, hoping to integrate peacefully into the galactic community. We developed our technology in secret, built our fleets in the shadows of distant moons, all to avoid appearing as a threat. The hologram of Admiral Takashi expanded, showing detailed schematics of the Earth ships. Our vessels employ gravity manipulation technology far beyond anything in known space. Our weapons can disable entire fleets without destruction, and this," she paused, bringing up an image of a sleek, spherical device, "is our greatest achievement, the Chen Martinez field generator." Gasps echoed through the chamber as the implications became clear. One of the elder race delegates, a Zorlak, its tentacles writhing in agitation, spoke up. "Impossible. You've developed functional space-time manipulation technology." Sarah nodded. "Not only developed, but perfected. With this, we can create localized pockets of altered space-time. We can slow time to a crawl or speed it up exponentially. We can generate impenetrable shields or create corridors of instantaneous travel across vast distances." The Arcturian delegate, its crystalline form pulsing with a mix of colors, communicated telepathically. "But why reveal all this now? Surely you understand the panic this will cause throughout the galaxy." Sarah's expression softened slightly as she looked down at Max's body. "We reveal it now because today's tragic events have shown us that the galaxy is not ready for peaceful coexistence, not as it stands." She gently laid Max's body on a nearby console, then straightened, addressing the chamber with renewed vigor. "Humanity comes before you not as conquerors, but as guardians. We have the power to reshape this galaxy, to end conflicts before they begin, to protect the weak from the strong. And we intend to use it." The chamber erupted in a mix of protests and exclamations of support. Sarah raised her hand, calling for silence. "I know this is a lot to process, but let me be clear. The old order of the galaxy ends today. Earth will take its place on the Galactic Council, not as a junior member, but as a guiding force for a new era of peace and progress." She turned to the Krell delegation, her gaze steely. "As for the Krell Imperium, consider yourselves under probation. Your fleet will remain disabled until we are satisfied that you no longer pose a threat to galactic peace. Ambassador Zix and his cohorts will be detained and tried for their actions here today." As if to punctuate her words, a squad of human soldiers materialized in the chamber, their advanced armor gleaming under the lights. They quickly surrounded the Krell delegation, energy restraints at the ready. Ambassador Zix, his earlier bravado completely evaporated, sank to his knees. "Please, we didn't know. We didn't understand." Sarah's voice was cold as she replied, "No, you didn't, but you will learn." Turning back to the rest of the chamber, Sarah's tone softened slightly. "To the rest of the Galactic Council, I extend an invitation. Join us in building a better future. Embrace the changes that are coming. Work with us to create a more just and peaceful galaxy. Those who do will find in humanity a steadfast ally and friend." The Arcturian delegate floated forward, its crystalline form glowing with a warm, golden light. "The Arcturian Collective accepts your invitation, Ambassador Chen. We have long hoped for a force that could bring true balance to the galaxy. Perhaps humanity is that force." One by one, other delegates began to voice their support, some enthusiastically, others more cautiously. The tide was turning, the shock of Earth's revelation giving way to hope for a brighter future. As the session concluded, Sarah stood at the center of a whirlwind of activity. Diplomats clamored for private audiences, military attaches requested briefings on Earth's technology, and news of the day's events was already spreading like wildfire across the galaxy. Admiral Takashi's hologram reappeared. "Ambassador, the President is requesting an update. How should I proceed?" Sarah took a moment to collect her thoughts, looking once more at Max's still form. "Tell the President that Phase 1 was successful. Earth's emergence is complete. And tell her," she paused, a mix of sadness and determination in her eyes, "tell her that Max didn't die in vain. His sacrifice has opened the door to a new age for humanity and for the entire galaxy." As the hologram faded, Sarah allowed herself a moment of quiet reflection. The galaxy had irrevocably changed, and humanity stood at the threshold of a new era. The path ahead would be challenging, filled with diplomatic minefields and potential conflicts, but Earth was ready. In the space around the Galactic Council station, Earth's fleet stood vigilant, a silent testament to humanity's hidden strength and its newfound role as a galactic superpower. The message was clear to all who witnessed it: humanity had arrived, and the universe would never be the same. Alliance and expansion. In the months following Earth's dramatic revelation to the Galactic Council, the political landscape of the known universe underwent a seismic shift. Humanity, once viewed as a fledgling species barely out of its cradle, now stood at the center of a rapidly forming new galactic order. Ambassador Sarah Chen found herself at the heart of this transformation. The conference room aboard the newly commissioned Earth diplomatic vessel Unity hummed with activity as holographic representations of various alien species flickered in and out of existence. The Arcturian Collective is pleased to announce the successful integration of human space-time manipulation technology into our energy matrix. The crystalline form of the Arcturian delegate pulsed with vibrant colors. Our combined efforts have yielded unprecedented advancements in clean energy production. Sarah nodded, a small smile playing on her lips. Excellent news. This will go a long way in addressing the energy crisis faced by developing worlds in the Outer Rim. The hologram of a Zorlak representative, its tentacles swaying gently, chimed in. The Zorlak Confederation wishes to express its gratitude for Earth's assistance in repelling the swarm incursion in the Cygnus sector. Your Chen Martinez field generators proved instrumental in containing the threat. As the meeting progressed, it became clear that Earth's influence was spreading rapidly across the galaxy. Human technology, once hidden, was now being shared selectively with trusted allies, dramatically accelerating the development of numerous species. After the conference concluded, Sarah found herself alone with Admiral Helena Takashi, who had become a close confidant in the wake of recent events. It's remarkable how quickly things have changed, Helena mused, gazing out at the stars through the ship's expansive viewport. 6 months ago, we were pretending to be technological beginners. Now half the galaxy is clamoring for our help. Sarah nodded, her expression thoughtful. It's a delicate balance we're walking. We need to expand our influence to ensure lasting peace, but we can't move so quickly that we breed resentment or fear. Helena turned to face her, her eyes narrowing slightly. Speaking of fear, have you seen the latest reports from the Krell borders? Sarah's expression darkened. Yes. Despite the disarmament, there are whispers of secret shipyards and weapons development. They're not taking their probation lying down. And what of the Omega Coalition? Helena asked, referring to the loose alliance of species that had resisted Earth's rising influence. Before Sarah could respond, a priority alert chimed on both their communicators. A holographic display sprang to life in the center of the room, showing a sector of space near the galactic core. Hundreds of ships were converging on a single point. By the stars, Helena breathed. It's the Nexus. The Nexus, an ancient space station of unknown origin, had long been a neutral ground for trade and diplomacy. Now, it seemed to be the focal point of a massive gathering. A communication request flashed on the screen. Sarah accepted it, and the image of an alien unlike any they have encountered before materialized. Its form was fluid, constantly shifting, with eyes that seemed to hold the depths of space within them. Greetings, representatives of Earth, the being spoke, its voice resonating on multiple frequencies simultaneously. I am Zinethar of the Cosmos Concordat. We have watched your rise with great interest. Sarah and Helena exchanged glances before Sarah stepped forward. Greetings, Zinethar. We're honored by your communication. If I may ask, who are the Cosmos Concordat? The being's form rippled, almost like a chuckle. We are the shepherds of galaxies, the cultivators of sentient life. We have guided the evolution of countless species across the cosmos, and now we believe it is time for us to meet. The implications of this statement were staggering. Sarah's mind raced with the possibilities. You've been watching us? For how long? Since your kind first looked up at the stars and dreamed, Zinethar replied. We have seen your struggles, your triumphs, your capacity for both great destruction and remarkable compassion. The incident with your companion species at the Galactic Council was illuminating. Sarah felt a pang in her heart at the memory of Max, but she pushed it aside, focusing on the magnitude of this moment. What is it you want from us? Xen-Athar's form shifted again, this time taking on a more humanoid appearance. Want? No, Ambassador Chen. It is what we offer. Knowledge, understanding, a place among the guardians of the cosmos. Helena, who had been silent until now, stepped forward. And what's the catch? There's always a catch. The being's eyes seemed to twinkle with amusement. Perceptive Admiral Takashi. The catch, as you put it, is responsibility. The power to shape the destiny of not just your galaxy, but countless others. The burden of nurturing young species, of maintaining the delicate balance of cosmic evolution. Are you prepared for such a task? Sarah and Helena shared a long look, years of trust and shared experiences passing between them in an instant. Finally, Sarah turned back to Xen-Athar. Humanity has always risen to challenges placed before it. We would be honored to learn more about your offer. Xen-Athar's form expanded, filling the holographic display with swirling galaxies and newborn stars. Then let us meet, children of Earth. Come to the Nexus. Bring your allies, your technology, your dreams and your fears. It is time for you to take your place among the stars. As the transmission ended, Sarah and Helena stood in stunned silence for a moment. The universe had just become infinitely larger and more complex than they had ever imagined. Well, Helena said finally, a hint of her old humor creeping into her voice, I guess we're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. Sarah couldn't help but laugh, the tension of the moment breaking. No, we're certainly not. Get the Unity prepped for immediate departure. I'll inform our allies. It seems we have a date with Destiny at the Nexus. As they sprang into action, coordinating the massive undertaking of assembling Earth's allies for this unprecedented meeting, both women felt the weight of history on their shoulders. Humanity stood on the brink of a new chapter, not just in its own story, but in the grand narrative of the cosmos itself. The stars seemed to shine a little brighter as the Unity prepared for departure, as if the universe itself was holding its breath in anticipation of what was to come. The age of humanity's isolation was over. The era of cosmic citizenship was about to begin. Rising tensions. The Nexus hung in space like a glittering jewel, its ancient structure pulsing with energy as ships from across the galaxy converged upon it. At the heart of this gathering, the Earth vessel Unity stood out, its sleek design a testament to humanity's hidden technological prowess. Inside the Nexus's Grand Assembly Hall, Ambassador Sarah Chen and Admiral Helena Takashi stood side by side, surrounded by a dizzying array of alien delegates. The air buzzed with a mixture of excitement and apprehension as everyone awaited the arrival of the cosmic Concordat. I never thought I'd see the day when humanity would be at the center of a galactic summit, Helena murmured, her eyes scanning the crowd. Sarah nodded, her expression a mixture of pride and concern. It's what we've worked towards for so long, but now that we're here, I can't help but wonder if we're ready for what comes next. Before Helena could respond, a hush fell over the assembly. The air in the center of the hall began to shimmer and distort, and suddenly, the fluid, ever-changing form of Xen-Athar materialized. Greetings, sentients of the galaxy, the being's voice resonated through the chamber, seeming to speak directly to each individual present. We stand at a crossroads of cosmic significance. The emergence of humanity as a galactic power marks the beginning of a new era. As Xen-Athar spoke, holographic displays sprang to life around the hall, showing scenes from Earth's history, from early cave paintings to the moon landing, and finally, to the revelation of their advanced fleet. Humanity's journey has been one of remarkable resilience and ingenuity, Xen-Athar continued. They have faced extinction-level events, overcome great adversities, and emerged stronger. It is these qualities that make them ideal candidates to join the cosmic Concordat. A murmur ran through the crowd. The Arcturian delegate pulsed with a warm glow, clearly pleased, while others showed signs of discomfort or outright displeasure. Zin-Athar's form shifted, taking on aspects of various species present. We understand this decision may be controversial, but we believe that with proper guidance, humanity can help usher in an age of unprecedented peace and progress for this galaxy and beyond. Suddenly, a harsh, grating voice cut through the air. This is unacceptable. All eyes turned to see Ambassador Zix of the Krell Imperium, who had somehow managed to break free of his restraints and infiltrate the gathering. His once proud form was haggard, his eyes wild with a mixture of fear and hatred. The humans are not fit to join the cosmic concordat, Zix snarled. They are vengeful, unpredictable. They would doom us all. Sarah stepped forward, her voice calm but firm. Ambassador Zix, you are in violation of your probation. Stand down immediately. But Zix was beyond reason. In a swift motion, he produced a small device, its surface crackling with energy. If the Concordat will not see reason, then none of us will live to regret it. Time seemed to slow as Zix activated the device. A wave of destructive energy began to pulse outward, threatening to tear the Nexus apart. Panic erupted among the delegates, many scrambling for safety. In that critical moment, Sarah's training kicked in. She tapped her wrist device, activating the portable Chen Martinez field generator she always carried. A shimmering bubble of altered spacetime enveloped the destructive wave containing it. Helena was already in motion, coordinating with Earth's security forces to apprehend Zix. The Krell ambassador fought viciously, his warrior instincts on full display, but he was quickly overwhelmed and subdued. As the crisis subsided, all eyes turned to Sarah, who stood calmly at the center of the dissipating energy field. Zin-Athar's form rippled with what seemed to be approval. You see, the cosmic being's voice rang out. This is why humanity is ready. Quick thinking, selfless action, the ability to protect even those who would do them harm. These are the qualities the cosmos needs. The assembly hall erupted in a mixture of cheers and heated discussions. The Arcturian delegate floated forward, its crystalline form pulsing with admiration. The Arcturian collective stands with Earth. We have seen their valor and wisdom firsthand. Others were not so easily convinced. The representative of the Omega Coalition, a loose alliance of species wary of Earth's rising power, stepped forward. While we acknowledge the humans' quick action, we cannot ignore the destabilizing effect their rapid rise to power has had on galactic politics. The Omega Coalition calls for a period of reflection before any decision is made. Zin-Athar's form expanded, filling the center of the hall. Your concerns are noted, but the decision of the Cosmic Concordat is final. Earth will be given the opportunity to prove itself worthy of cosmic citizenship. However, the being turned to face Sarah and Helena. This gift comes with great responsibility and trials. Sarah stepped forward, her voice clear and resolute. On behalf of Earth and humanity, we accept this responsibility. We understand that our actions will have far-reaching consequences, and we are prepared to face whatever trials lie ahead. As the assembly concluded, the various delegations began to disperse, the air thick with tension and uncertainty. Sarah and Helena found themselves approached by a diverse group of alien representatives, some offering congratulations, others thinly veiled warnings. The Zorlak delegate undulated nervously. You must understand, the galaxy fears what it does not understand. Your rise has been unsettling for many. Helena nodded grimly. We're aware of the fears our emergence has caused. We'll do everything in our power to prove ourselves worthy of the trust placed in us. As they made their way back to the Unity, Sarah and Helena were acutely aware of the weight now resting on their shoulders. The eyes of not just their galaxy, but potentially countless others, were upon them. You know this isn't over, right? Helena said quietly as they boarded their ship. The Krell, the Omega Coalition, they won't take this lying down. Confrontation. The tension that had been building across the galaxy finally erupted into open conflict. The Omega Coalition, led by the remnants of the Krell Imperium and other species fearful of Earth's meteoric rise, launched a series of coordinated attacks against human outposts and their allies. Aboard the Unity, now the flagship of Earth's defense fleet, Admiral Helena Takashi stood before a holographic display of the galaxy, red indicators flashing across multiple sectors. "They're hitting us everywhere at once," she muttered, her brow furrowed in concentration. "Clever bastards." Ambassador Sarah Chen, now serving as Earth's representative to the Cosmic Concordat, nodded grimly. "They're trying to overwhelm us, force us to spread our forces thin." A communication request flashed on the main screen. It was Zin Athar of the Cosmic Concordat. Sarah accepted the call, and the fluid form of the cosmic being materialized before them. "The trial has begun earlier than anticipated." Zin Athar's voice resonated with a hint of concern. "How you handle this conflict will determine humanity's place in the cosmic order." Helena stepped forward, her voice firm. "With all due respect, we could use some help here. The Omega Coalition is threatening the stability of the entire galaxy." Zin Athar's form rippled, a gesture they had come to recognize as a sign of contemplation. "This is humanity's test. We cannot intervene directly." However, the being paused, its eyes seeming to peer into distant realms. "We can offer guidance. The key to resolving this conflict lies not in superior firepower, but in understanding." Before either Sarah or Helena could ask for clarification, the transmission ended, leaving them with more questions than answers. "Understanding," Helena scoffed. "They're trying to wipe us out, and the Cosmic Concordat wants us to understand them." Sarah's expression was thoughtful. "Maybe that's exactly what we need to do. We've been so focused on proving our strength that we haven't considered why they fear us so much." As if on cue, another transmission came through. This time, it was the face of Grol Kex, the new leader of the Krell Imperium and the de facto head of the Omega Coalition. "Humans," Grol Kex snarled, his mandibles clicking aggressively, "your time of unchecked expansion ends now. Surrender your advanced technology and submit to the will of the Coalition, or face annihilation." Helena moved to cut the transmission, but Sarah held up a hand, stopping her. "Wait, I want to hear what he has to say." Turning back to the screen, Sarah addressed the Krell leader. "Grol Kex, surely you must realize that this conflict will only lead to more destruction. Why not meet with us, discuss your grievances?" The Krell leader's eyes narrowed. "Discuss? Like you discussed with Ambassador Zix before imprisoning him. No, humans, your words are as empty as your promises of peace. You've upset the balance of the galaxy, and we will restore it, by any means necessary." As the transmission cut off, Sarah and Helena shared a look of realization. "That's it," Sarah said softly. "It's not just about fear, it's about balance." Helena nodded slowly, beginning to understand. "They see us as disruptors, upsetting thousands of years of established order." "And they're not entirely wrong," Sarah admitted. "We did hide our true capabilities, then suddenly emerged as a superpower. From their perspective, we're unpredictable and dangerous." A plan began to form in Sarah's mind. It was risky, potentially disastrous if it failed, but it might be their only chance to end the conflict without massive casualties on both sides. "Helena," she said, her voice filled with determination, "I need you to get me on a secure channel with every member of the Omega Coalition, not just the leaders, but representatives from every level of their societies." Helena raised an eyebrow. "You're not thinking of—" Sarah nodded. "Yes, it's time for full disclosure. No more secrets, no more hidden agendas. We're going to lay it all out on the table." Over the next few hours, as battles raged across the galaxy, Sarah Chen did something unprecedented in galactic history. In a massive multi-species broadcast, she revealed everything: Earth's reasons for hiding their technology, their fears and hopes for galactic cooperation, even the details of their communication with the Cosmic Concordat. "We hid our advancements out of fear," Sarah explained to the trillions of beings watching across the galaxy. Fear that we would be seen as a threat, fear that our technology would be misused. But in doing so, we only bred more fear and mistrust. For that, we are truly sorry. She went on to propose a radical new form of galactic governance, one where power was shared, where advanced technology was not hoarded, but distributed responsibly, where the wisdom of ancient species was combined with the innovation of younger ones. As Sarah spoke, something remarkable began to happen. Across the galaxy, battles gradually ceased as combatants on both sides tuned into the broadcast. The sincerity in Sarah's words, the boldness of her proposal, began to resonate with beings from all species. On the Krell homeworld, Grul Kex watched the broadcast, his earlier bravado replaced by quiet contemplation. The Arcturian collective pulsed with approval, their crystalline forms glowing with hope for a brighter future. Even the Omega Coalition began to fracture, with many members openly questioning the need for continued conflict in light of Earth's transparency. As the broadcast concluded, Sarah turned to Helena, exhaustion evident on her face. "Now we wait," she said softly. "We've laid our cards on the table. It's up to them to decide what happens next." Hours passed, feeling like an eternity. Then gradually, responses began to pour in. The Arcturians were the first to officially declare their support for Earth's proposal. They were soon followed by the Zorlak Confederation and several other former neutral parties. The pivotal moment came when Grul Kex himself requested a direct line to the Unity. His face appeared on the screen, his expression unreadable. "Ambassador Chen," he began, his voice gruff, but lacking its earlier hostility, "your words have given us much to consider. The Krell have always valued strength, but perhaps we have been short-sighted in how we define it. Your willingness to make yourself vulnerable, to admit to your fears and mistakes, that is a different kind of strength." Sarah held her breath, hardly daring to hope. Grul Kex continued, "The Krell Imperium is willing to cease hostilities and discuss the terms of this new galactic order you propose. We make no promises, but we are willing to listen." As the transmission ended, Sarah and Helena embraced, tears of relief streaming down their faces. It wasn't a complete victory, not yet, but it was a start. A chance for genuine understanding and cooperation. Outside the Unity's viewport, the stars seemed to shine a little brighter. The galaxy had been brought to the brink of all-out war, but humanity's willingness to extend an olive branch, to choose understanding over conflict, had opened a path to peace. As news of the ceasefire spread, a message came through from Zin Atar: "You have passed the trial, children of Earth. The true mark of cosmic citizenship is not the ability to win conflicts, but the wisdom to prevent them. You have taken your first steps into a larger universe." The confrontation was over, but the real work was just beginning. Humanity, once hidden in the shadows, now stood at the center of a new galactic dawn. The future was uncertain, but for the first time in eons, it was filled with hope. New galactic order. 5 years had passed since the day humanity had laid bare its secrets to the galaxy, averting a war that could have torn civilization asunder. The Nexus, once a simple trading post, had been transformed into the seat of a new form of galactic governance. Its halls bustled with activity as representatives from hundreds of species worked together to forge a future of unprecedented cooperation and progress. Ambassador Sarah Chen stood at the heart of the Grand Assembly, her eyes scanning the faces of the gathered delegates. Beside her stood Admiral Helena Takashi, now the head of the United Galactic Defense Force. The chamber fell silent as Sarah stepped forward to address the assembly. "Distinguished representatives of the galaxy," she began, her voice carrying clearly through the vast hall. 5 years ago, we stood on the brink of destruction. Our fears, our mistrust, nearly plunged us into a war that would have left our civilization in ruins. But in our darkest hour, we chose understanding over conflict, cooperation over domination. Holographic displays sprang to life around the chamber, showing scenes from the past 5 years. joint scientific endeavors, cultural exchanges, humanitarian missions to developing worlds. Today, we gather to ratify the Galactic Concordat, a framework for governance that respects the autonomy of individual species while fostering cooperation on a scale never before seen in our history. As Sarah spoke, she couldn't help but reflect on the journey that had brought them to this point. The months of negotiations, the delicate balance of addressing the concerns of both established powers and emerging species, the challenge of integrating vastly different cultural and political systems into a cohesive whole. Under the Concordat, Sarah continued, advanced technology will no longer be hoarded by a few, but shared responsibly for the benefit of all. The wisdom of ancient species will be combined with the innovation of younger ones. And most importantly, we will face the challenges of the future not as separate entities, but as a united galactic community. A ripple of approval ran through the assembly. Even Grolkex, the once belligerent leader of the Krell, nodded in agreement. The Arcturian delegate pulsed with a warm, golden light of approval. As Sarah concluded her speech, Helena stepped forward, and to ensure the security of this new order, we have established the United Galactic Defense Force. This is not an army of conquest, but a shield to protect all sentient life from threats both within and without our galaxy. The holographic displays shifted, showing the new fleet. Ships of various designs from different species flew in formation, a testament to the collaborative nature of the force. But our greatest defense, Helena added, will not be our ships or our weapons, but our unity. Together, we are stronger than any force that might threaten our peace. As the ratification process began, with each delegation casting their vote, Sarah felt a presence materialize beside her. It was Xinatar, representative of the Cosmic Concordat. You have exceeded our expectations, children of Earth. The cosmic being's voice resonated in Sarah's mind. What you have achieved here, it is but the first step on a greater journey. Sarah turned to face the entity, curiosity piqued. What do you mean? Xenathar's form shimmered, and suddenly the chamber around them seemed to fade away. Sarah found herself surrounded by swirling galaxies, countless worlds teeming with life. The universe is vast beyond imagining, Xenathar explained. What you have done in your galaxy, uniting diverse species, fostering peace and progress, it is a model that can be applied on a cosmic scale. The vision shifted, showing Sarah glimpses of other galactic civilizations, some far more advanced, others just taking their first steps into the stars. The Cosmic Concordat has guided the evolution of life for eons, Xenathar continued. But now, we believe it is time for a new approach. Humanity, with its unique blend of innovation, adaptability, and compassion, is poised to play a crucial role in this new era. As the vision faded and the Grand Assembly came back into focus, Sarah's mind reeled with the implications of what she had seen. The ratification vote was concluding, the Galactic Concordat officially becoming the law of their civilization. Sarah turned to Helena, her eyes shining with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. It seems our work is just beginning, she said softly. Helena raised an eyebrow. Oh, and here I thought uniting an entire galaxy was challenge enough. What's next, reshaping the cosmos? Sarah laughed, but there was a note of seriousness in her voice as she replied, something like that. We've taken our first steps into a larger universe, Helena, and I have a feeling the greatest adventures and challenges still lie ahead. As the assembly erupted in cheers, celebrating the dawn of a new era, Sarah's gaze drifted to the stars visible through the Nexus's transparent dome. Somewhere out there, countless other civilizations were facing their own trials, their own moments of crisis and opportunity. Humanity had risen to the challenge of galactic citizenship. Now, it stood poised to take on an even greater role in the cosmic order. The journey that had begun with a tragic incident at a diplomatic meeting had led them to the threshold of something far grander than they had ever imagined. As Sarah Chen looked out at the sea of diverse beings working together in harmony, she felt a profound sense of hope. Whatever the future held, whatever challenges lay ahead, They would face them together, not just as a species, not just as a galaxy, but as part of a grand cosmic community. The stars seemed to twinkle in response, as if acknowledging the birth of something truly remarkable. The age of cosmic citizenship had begun, and humanity was ready to play its part in writing the next chapter of the universe's grand story.